So on their honeymoon, babe, he was standing in the living room and his wife came up to him. She's like, what are you thinking about? He's like, oh, I was just thinking about how much I don't want to be married to you and whether this is a mistake. What?
That's crazy.
Like, there's better ways to say things.
That's wild.
That is, yeah. Hello, welcome back to Building and Marriage. I'm Hadassah.
My name's Kofi.
And yeah, today we're going to talk about communication styles. So we're going to take another trip down memory lane and I guess talk about our communication style before marriage, basically just with each other though, before marriage and now in marriage, and maybe where we want to go.
Yeah. Before marriage, I was pretty passive in my communication. I don't want to say I was passive aggressive.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I think I might have been a little passive aggressive.
Yeah.
In my communication style before marriage, for sure. That's because I've always kind of been a little bit petty.
I don't think you are petty, but you have petty thoughts.
Yeah.
And I think it's just that struggle of whether or not to be petty that can make it sometimes passive aggressive.
Yeah. I mean, it's just I'm looking at this little chart of the communication styles, and it says...
Oh, you should maybe put it on the screen.
Yeah, I'll put it on the screen. Inability to say no. Yeah, that was me. Poor posture, not so much. Easygoing attitude. Yep. Lack of eye contact. Not really. Soft voice. Apologetic. Okay, let's go to passive aggressive. Passive aggressive communicators mutter, using sarcasm. Yeah, that's...
I'm sarcastic too, I can't lie.
Exhibiting denial.
Yeah, that'd be me. Or was me.
Presenting a happy face when they're clearly upset. And giving the silent treatment. Yeah.
I was... No, you were a silent treatment. No, I don't think you were a silent treatment, but you would go silent. But it's not like you...
I wasn't weaponizing it against you. I just wouldn't Okay, so my communication style was just from before marriage stemmed from the fact that I'm naturally a people pleaser. So I never want anybody to feel bad about the vibes that I'm giving them, about what I'm saying to them. I don't want to say no. And I just wanted people to feel good about the way that I was communicating with them. In spite of how I actually felt. So I guess that kind of puts me in the passive aggressive category.
Yeah, I don't like these categories.
Yeah, I feel like it's a little bit more. There's more fluidity to like communication styles. I definitely was not direct. Definitely not direct in my communication styles before marriage. I always steer away from conflict. That was like I never wanted to be in like I just want you to feel good in our communication, our interaction, and then we can go our separate ways. That's kind of how I was before marriage. How about you?
I don't know. I think before marriage, it depends on the day and situation, because I know you always said like I would sometimes just not say things. Like if I had a problem, it was like, I don't know if you guys know that music video. It's this church lady is like, if God don't do it, it won't get done.
No, I didn't see that one.
You didn't see that?
I didn't see that one.
I'll show you. In terms of you, I might think, okay, I don't like that he does this, but I don't think if I bring it up to him, he'll have the tools or the maybe the desire to change this about himself. So one, I don't think I want to be disappointed by bringing this up and like wasting my breath. That was my big thing. I don't want to waste my breath. Like I want to say it and it be impactful and actually do some change. I don't want to just chat and breeze, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if I see that, I'm just going to pray about it because God listens to me. My breath is never wasted on him, you know?
Yeah.
So that was what I do. I wouldn't give people the benefit of the doubt. I'm talking about people, you, benefit of the doubt to, you know, have the opportunity to actually take what I'm saying. It's like I'd make the decision for you.
Yeah.
And you would always say like, you never, like if I'm doing something wrong, just tell me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't think I can tell you. Some things I would, and I feel like I'm pretty assertive when I do have a problem, but some things I'm just like, no.
Yeah, and that kind of stems from observing how I would spend without saving and see no problem with it. So it's like if you tell me something around money, it's not going to hit.
And also, I think it goes to just the interaction of our communication styles, because you are a people pleaser. I am too, but you are in a way where if I would bring a problem to you, you would say everything right, so that you're like, yes, I feel you, but you're just saying it like it's just words to you. And in my mind, obviously I'm not perfect, so some things I say that I shouldn't say, but in my mind, I'm not going to say something that I don't mean.
Yeah.
You know, like that's just wasted words. Like words are precious.
Yeah.
I'm not just going to throw these out here and convince someone of something flippantly.
Yeah.
I'd rather just say nothing. But you were like the opposite, like, oh no, she has a problem. I want to make her know that she is heard and appreciated. But it wasn't just the words, it was the action behind the words that would have made me feel,
yeah,
you know.
So I wasn't backing up my words. So I was just trying to please her with my words, and I wasn't backing up with actions. The actions would have pleased you.
Yeah.
How did we handle conflicts or disagreements before marriage, like with each other?
Our arguments don't look like what I thought they were supposed to look like. Because in my mind, you're shouting, you are cussing each other out. Not that I've ever been in a situation like that, but I've observed that around me, and it's like, I do not want that. So ours are basically, okay, this is a problem I'm having. Do you see this? How can we resolve this?
And this was before we got married?
I think so, yeah.
You would always ask me, like, is there something that I'm doing that maybe you have a problem with? I would always say no. But I was being truthful. Like, my brain in that specific context had as being someone that I wanted to please 24/7. Why am I going to bring up why am I even going to be thinking about something that she is doing that's something that she's doing that's bothering me? That didn't seem productive to me at the time, because I was trying to please her and I wanted her to know that I was pleased with her as well.
Yeah, I think that goes back to the duality. You can be pleased with me but still want me to improve my life as a person.
My desire for her to think that I loved her and I liked everything that she was doing overshadowed everything else. So that's why I didn't really bring up any disagreement.
Yeah, I would always think, and sometimes I get like hints of the idea now, like that he was almost like scared of me. Like I don't think I'm an intimidating person, but I'm like, I know I'm not perfect. Like I know that I know. And why are you kind of scared to tell me that? You know?
I mean, I wasn't scared of you. I was scared of the idea of losing you. I was scared of the idea of like not having you in my life.
Okay.
So that was what I was scared of. That's why I didn't really. I was scared to bring stuff up like that to you. And like I literally can't think of any disagreement that I had with anything that you're doing or. Yeah. We weren't. I mean, our courtship wasn't like. We didn't have many opportunities for friction, I think. Yeah. But I think some people do have opportunities to argue before marriage because of their interactions. I think our interactions just didn't allow us to have friction. But some people, they might be working together before marriage. They might living together.
Yeah, that's definitely one. They just might be in more places where you can clash. Because now that we are married, I think our arguments are still the same way. Like they're discussions, but there's just more opportunities because I am not seeing you at church for a couple hours or just at dinner. I'm seeing you every day, around the clock. I'm seeing you in the morning when you're tired and at night when you're giddy. You like it's different. There's more touch points. Yeah. And that's a big reason why we didn't have that many disagreements before marriage. But I mean, I'd say like, you know, in marriage, you know, kind of want to talk about how marriage has shifted our communication style or just like our ways we communicate with each other. And for me, what I think about when I'm communicating with you is like, these words are powerful. Like, don't just be out here talking because even though you may not express the feelings that you have behind what I said, it's gonna resonate. It's going to. I've planted a seed with my word. Yeah, I'm gonna remember everything that you said. Yeah, you're gonna remember everything that I said, and it may have an effect on you that I'm not intending or I'm not
aware of at the time. So I need to be very intentional with what I say. I think that's the main principle that guides my communication. So and behind that intentionality is like, you need to be kind, you need to be patient, you need to be understanding, you need to be calm,
right,
in your communication. That all that put together makes me more intentional.
Yeah, same. I think my communication has shifted a bit, whereas before marriage I wouldn't say some things. Now I'm like, okay, if you don't say these things, they're not going to just disappear. Like, you have committed your life to someone, and you told Kofi at the altar, like, you know, I trust you, basically, we are one.
Yeah.
So I should give you the benefit of the doubt in certain situations. But that being said, I still I think about things before I say them, because I don't want to just be like, one of my things that I really just don't want to be a nag, just chatting just because I can chat. You know, same with you, like, I want to be intentional. So some things, if I have a problem, I'll think about it first. Like, okay, is this really a problem? Why do I want to say this? And what is the outcome going to be? Not to the extent of when I used to, when I was like kind of playing out the conversation and putting words in your mouth.
Yeah.
But just thinking in the broad perspective, like, how will this impact our marriage in the future, kind of thing. Just like when you talk to friends or clients at work, you are kind of thinking of the repercussions, and also thinking about my mindset and my demeanor at the time, because depending on my mood, that answer is different. So sometimes if it's like in the heat of something that's happened, I'm thinking a different way.
Yeah.
Then later, once I've had time to sit, and it's like, oh, actually, that isn't actually how I perceived it.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
No, that makes sense. I mean, yeah, time kind of, with time, you get more clarity as to how you actually feel about a certain situation. And I really resonate with that as well, because just like you said, like, is it really worth bringing up right now? Right now,
exactly.
Right now,
timing is everything.
Timing is absolutely everything.
Yeah.
The other thing I think about is, before I address this, let me examine myself first.
Same, babe. Absolutely. Because,
you know?
Yeah. Like,
I just think, like, I never want to be the person that's just addressing everything.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to acknowledge the log that's in my own eye.
Right. Like, you know. What's it? You saying that reminded me, I listened to this podcast. It was a while ago before marriage, but it always stuck with me. And it was this couple, and the husband thought that someone told him, or I think he just had the idea that before he got married, he was like, I'm supposed to tell my wife everything. So on their honeymoon, babe, he was standing in the living room, and his wife came up to him. She's like, what are you thinking about? He's like, oh, I was just thinking about how much I don't want to be married to you, and whether this is a mistake. What?
That's crazy.
Like, there's better ways to say things.
That's wild.
That is, like, I'm not saying that he should not say that, but your timing, your approach, you did not prep this woman at all. You just told her, hey, thinking about divorce, 9 years, and they're married now. It's been 40 years, so they made it past that. But that's just to say, just because a thought comes to your mind doesn't mean it needs to be heard.
Yeah,
at that moment
by her.
Exactly.
Maybe you bring that up to
a counselor first, and then
someone who can help you kind of sort through
exactly that. A lot of our thoughts need to be filtered. And I think sometimes people think, well, I'm just being honest. There's wisdom too, you know. I'm
kind of in that direction when it comes to communication, a little bit. Just like
sometimes
I really believe in vulnerability. Yes. Like, I really believe in just like letting it out, being completely forthcoming about stuff. So I'll just express my feelings.
With no goal, I think.
Yeah. With no real goal in mind. But I'm kind of shifting more away from that. But
because I think that's how some people just see it. Like, it's just, I'm just pouring out my heart. What's wrong with that? How can that affect people? But that really can have an impact beyond what you may think in that moment. I'm not saying you shouldn't pour out your heart, but sometimes, you know, it just needs to be filtered through clearer thoughts. Because in the emotion of the moment, oftentimes we're just not thinking straight. You know. So
Yeah, I agree. But the practice of examining myself helps a lot, because something like cleaning the house or something like that. This is just an example, like cleaning the house. I want Hadassah to clean her office. Like her office is like, really jacked up or something like that. And I want to address it. Like, I mean, if I'm just walking by her office, I'm like, I say your office kind of but maybe I didn't pick up after myself in the living room like last night. Like, I have to say, okay, I'm not doing that. So like, and if in me being more intentional about cleaning all the time, practicing the action that I would like Hadassah to take on, she would see me, and that would propel her to do the same instead of me just saying, "Hey, can you clean more?" Like, So no,
that's real. I think, and I do notice that. I think you practice that a lot in terms of like this whole social media thing, because I do not naturally do the things that I should do for this, and like sometimes I see him, it's like I know he wants to say it, but he's just doing it. And I'm like, oh, let me just okay. So but it works, it's effective, and it's let me do it too. Like, this is a marriage, you're supposed to be a team. You're building in marriage.
She's talking about like just because we're trying to build our brand. We're trying to build this platform, building a marriage, and a lot goes into that, like social media, putting content out there, editing videos, responding to comments, just interacting with the community and stuff like that. There's a lot that goes into it, making thumbnails for the YouTube stuff, and like she said, that that doesn't come like naturally to her, but I think we have a goal of us being united and like building this platform. So there's a lot of times where I'm like, she's playing this phone game. She could be responding to these comments that are left on red on Instagram. And sometimes I'll like respectfully, I'll just say, hey, oh man, I saw that, somebody commented on our Instagram. I won't say, yo, why are you playing this game? And maybe that's passive aggressive, but a lot of the times I know that
I just came from work and it's just not in my mind.
Sometimes like you just come for it. I'll give you time to like decompress, and like I don't want to. We can't just be on all the time. But there'll be other times I'm like, oh, like you could be using your time like more productively right now, and I'll just try and just pop that in there. Like, hey,
I didn't take it as passive aggressive. I appreciate it because sometimes like I should be doing it, and I'm just like, it's just not in my mind. So I appreciate that.
What goals do we have for our communication in our marriage?
Honestly, and this could just be the naivety of the shortness of our marriage so far, but I feel like the way that we communicate now, if we maintain it, it will be healthy throughout, like, other challenges that come up in life, because I think we both are thoughtful about the way we speak to each other, and also reflective about our own selves. Like, it's not just, okay, you are doing something bad because you are the only bad person in this house. We both, like, by the grace of God, have the tendency to look at ourselves as well before approaching that person. And I think that is like just a healthy way to tackle and it's not just arguments, but just like tackle communication in general. Like, in the future we might have to communicate about parenting styles or ministry or other things. I think that's the healthy approach, to humbly but intentionally come to someone to achieve a certain goal.
Being thoughtful, being patient, it seems that we're practicing right now. You're right. If we continue it, we will, I believe we'll be on the right track, and then of course there's, we want to learn more about effective communication. I think certain strengths that we have are like being thoughtful, being considerate of each other's feelings, and being patient, being introspective. But weaknesses, I think that we can improve. I mean, I can be a better listener. Like I can be more present. That's something I want to be better at, like being present in every interaction. Because a lot of times I can just do a lot. I can just be trying to do too much at one time. You know, I'm listening, but I'm also doing this. I'm also washing the dishes. Or sometimes like you can multitask, but and sometimes it's just like we're just having fun, like so you can be doing other stuff. But if you're like actually telling me something that you need my undivided attention, I want to be better at like just being present in those moments.
Right. For us, I think one of the weaknesses I would say is that, kind of back to the faith conversation, I'd love to just include God a bit more. Like I think at least I know that I do it individually. Like a lot of the conversations I have with you, I've already had them with God first.
Yeah.
And I just think that at the end of the day, what is it, Ecclesiastes? It's like it's a 3-stranded cord is never easily broken.
Yeah.
My mum used to always tell me that verse and how she thought of it as marriage. Just we can only get so far on our own.
Yeah.
You know, and I'd want to look at how to make him more prioritized in our communication, because I think we have the fruit of the spirit in terms of like the way we are interacting, but I'm also like, okay, but is there a higher level we can go to?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, because I just don't believe that you can reach perfection.
Yeah.
Just like that. I think there's
by yourself.
Yeah, I think there's a better, maybe there could be an even better way to do it, a more effective way. So yeah.
And it's inspired by the Holy Spirit.
Yeah, I agree.
God's influence on our communication.
Yeah.
Like, I definitely think that that's an area that I could grow in. Just before I bring something up with you, like have I prayed about it? I honestly I don't do that as much as I should. And I can't say that the results have been like drastic, or the results have been like tragic, but there's more potential in the results of our communication that can be realized by me, consulting God, praying before our communication, our interaction. So
I agree.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
that's really good. Thank you guys for joining us on this episode of the Building Marriage Podcast. Thank you for tuning in. If you have any feedback for us, leave it in the comments. Thank you for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed yet, we would love to have you as a subscriber, and we appreciate all of you.
Bye.
Bye.